are many ideas on how first-year writing should be structured to best prepare students for transfer. Something often lacking from the research, however, is a focus on the actual students who come into these classrooms. What beliefs do they hold that will help or hinder them? In what ways does taking a composition course change these beliefs, if it changes them at all? These are questions that this study hopes to answer. This study took place at Oakland University. Participants for this study were selected from 2 Composition 2 courses taught by the same faculty member in the winter 2020 semester. In one of those classes, I was a teaching apprentice, a class offered by Oakland University for undergraduates in the Professional and Digital Writing program. My part in this Composition 2 classroom was to help students during their in-class work time, created a method for effective peer review, created form assignments that involved rhetorically analyzing memes, occasionally created and led a topical presentation, and participated in the student conferences with the instructor. 8 students agreed to participate in this study. 24 reflections were gathered, along with after-semester questionnaire that 2 students responded to. This study coded 17 words used in the 24 student reflections. The words learn, future, benefit, and help were coded due to their correlation with transfer. Emotional words like difficult, struggle, hard, enjoy, stress, happy, and fun were coded because of the importance of the role of emotions in transfer. The words challenge, strength, and weakness were coded due to how often they were mentioned. Out of the 17 words coded for this study, engagement and value were 11th and 12th on the list, with engagement mentioned 13 times and value only 12. According to composition researcher Amy Locklear, in order for writing pedagogy to be effective for students, then engagement and student agency must become central. This is why value and engagement were coded for this study. From here, there are 2 points that are important. First, how the instructor fosters engagement, and second, what responsibility the students bear. One way to foster student engagement is to help students see themselves as knowledge makers, instead of merely standing on the outside looking in and mimicking professionals. For this course, students chose a topic that they would be working with for the entire semester. The topic had to involve a community the student was a part of, either geographically or culturally. Then students had to find a problem within that community that they were going to address with both primary and secondary research. This not only engaged the students as knowledge makers, but also gave them an important stake in their research. It mattered because it's a community they are a part of. It mattered because they are going to find a gap in the research and fill it with their own research. In their reflections, students showed that they valued this approach. Instructions for all of the student reflections required students to provide examples that show what they learned. The amount of generic mentions of learning dwarfed the specific examples of learning, with 41 uses of the word learn being accompanied by specific examples, and 84 generic mentions of the word learn that are not accompanied by any examples. If students struggle to show that they learned something in their reflections, where the primary purpose of the assignment is to provide evidence showing that they did indeed learn those concepts, does that mean students did not learn those concepts? Perhaps, as Kathleen Yancey et al. Mentions, students need a vocabulary for writing in order to articulate knowledge and ensure successful transfer. Students used the word future a total of 31 times. The number one thing that participants believed was transferable is the technical aspect of writing, or what Wardle calls general or mechanical skills. Could this be the result of their own internalized beliefs, or did the class structure contribute to it? Plenty of in-class time was spent learning how APA format works and helping students cite their sources in APA correctly, to the point where missing or mixed up volume and issue numbers were marked on their annotated bibliography drafts. While the focus of the conferences for both major assignments was content, plenty of emphasis was also placed on formatting correctness. This study had 2 major findings. First, fostering student engagement is of the utmost importance, and having students select communities they are a part of helps give them a reason to find writing valuable and engaging. Second, studying student reflections is an often used method for judging student learning and transfer. but reflections may not be doing what research is thinking that they do. The purpose of reflections is that they engage students in metacognition, which helps them understand what they've learned, which leads to transfer. However, these participating students were reflecting on the instructions, not the learning process. They do not value reflections in the way the instructor was trying to encourage them to. These students here appeared to learn selectively. It's time to start rethinking about how to teach students to reflect on what they've learned and why that's important. Having that information in the reflection instructions did not appear to help these students understand the importance of the reflections. While instructors and colleges can do more to help students be aware of what they are learning, so the possibility of transfer increases, a lot of this weight lays on the shoulders of these students, and they don't know it. As the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But that does not mean that has to be the way this ends. We can always work on ways to encourage the horse to drink and teach it why it's important that it does so.